Welcome to Garden Valley Church Podcasts. We are so looking forward to having you join us today.
Let me think. I'm just gonna say, hey guys, let's tell a joke. Let's start this one out. What's a good joke? Do you know a good joke?
Nope.
Come on, you don't know any dad jokes?
Oh, I know a good dad joke.
Welcome to Wow, Look at Us Now podcast. I'm your host, Rochelle Onslager.
And I'm Michael Onslager. What's green and has wheels?
I knew you were gonna say something like this. Green and has wheels.
It's grass. I lied about the wheels.
That's such a good dad joke. I love it. It's grass. I lied about the wheels.
I have to give credit to my brother-in-law. He's actually the one that made these sweet shirts, but he also told me that dad joke. So hey, here's our merch. This is literally 2 shirts is the only merch we have.
It's the ones we're wearing.
Yeah, just the ones we're wearing. These ones aren't for sale.
Actually, how cool is this actually?
Cool.
How we said, wow, look at us now, and I came up with it, but my brother-in-law did too, but I came up with the look of it, and then ends up being aviators, and now you're cops. Was that good?
That's good.
And I just spoke into that. You're
so
welcome.
Anybody that has an idea that they want to get on paper or vinyl or shirt or car, wrap your car, anything like that.
Wrap your car, anything like that.
Anything, signage. Our brother-in-law can do it. So
yeah,
he made our dream Rochelle's dream of this shirt.
So rude.
Come to life. How's it rude? I can't take credit for any of it.
Of course I want this, and I'm gonna have to. And there's a hashtag on the back.
I know. I'm just saying I can't
ruin this.
I'm just saying I can't take credit for this because I was like, oh, do it, whatever you guys feel is best.
Well, can you take credit for this podcast?
Yes, I can take credit for the podcast, but not the shirts.
Okay, sure. I mean, I've done most of the work. I mean, you've talked, but it's cool. It's cool.
Most of the work.
Oh. Do we want to go all the way back? Should we go all the way back on who thinks of the topics, who's going over, starts it, questions?
Definitely not just you.
Oh, I know it's not just me.
And I started the note.
I
started a lot of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay. This episode
is about how you can be right and your wife can be wrong. Yes.
Well, it's not going to be very long.
Yeah. And we're done.
Oh, that was good. Okay. Props to you. Give that one to you. Good job. So this is advice you wish you heard when you were younger. Oh, you wrote so many. I'm so proud of you.
I have so many in my head that I didn't put down.
Oh, okay. So what is one? Maybe we'll go back and forth. So
okay. You go first.
Okay. Something that I wish someone would have told me when I was younger was that a relationship is God is all that he wants. That's not like religion or thinking you had to follow these rules, and that there was like restrictions on your life. Like the reason why God doesn't want
basically
you
saying
to be in certain things.
You don't have to follow a set of rules to have a relationship with God, is what you're saying.
You don't have to be perfect. I was thinking that you had to literally be perfect
to have a relationship with God.
Yeah, because it was all these set of rules and be like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. But I also didn't understand, and I wasn't taught that, like, the reason why God says, like, he didn't say you can't do this. Like, well, you very well can, but what the thing is, he's trying to protect you as a parent tries to protect their child, saying, this is a boundary for you. Because it's to protect you. Because it's going to get you to a place where you don't want to be. So that's probably something that I thought. That's something, if I would have known that a lot sooner. I don't know. I was 25, 24 when I gave my life to God. Like, actually surrendered it. Like, lived my life for God. So, I feel like it wasn't that late, but I feel like I could have gone a lot sooner if I would have known that it's a relationship with God, not that it's just not like this distant God that's looking down on you, pointing your finger and like saying like these are the rules that you have to read your Bible, you have to worship me on Sunday, you have to, like, whatever it is.
Right. One of mine is you don't have to rush everything. It doesn't, like, you can slow down. Just slow down.
Like, I need the next level, like, right now. Right now.
We live in such a world where it's a consumer world. Like, I need this and I need it now, and I can, there's an app for this, I pay this much money, I get this, it's just right now. We live in that kind of world where everything
instant
is right
gratification.
now. Yeah, instant gratification. Same thing with certain situations in life. Like, you don't have to know an answer right now. You don't, like, I need to know what I'm going to do with my life right now. No, you don't.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay to slow down and do what you have to do. Rarely ever do you have to rush something, or rush a choice, it's rarely ever do you have to do that when it's something significant. Like, obviously, if it's like, okay, we need to figure out where we need to eat right now because I'm getting hungry, and that doesn't matter. That's insignificant. Yeah. So when it comes to significant things like job, house, family, rarely ever are you going to have a situation that you just need to know an answer right now, or you need to figure out something right now. Like, is there times where it's like,
I feel like sometimes maybe.
Like, is there times where things have happened where it's like, okay,
God, I need an answer right
God,
now.
I need an answer. I need you, and he comes through. Like, let him take care of that. But rarely ever is there a time where you can't be like, you can't invite God in this situation and be like, okay, God, I'm a little stressed right now, and I feel like I need an answer right now, but just please walk with me through this. Let's slow down, and really look at everything. Because it could be a time and process where it's like, I need to make a decision. Like, it could be a job offer, and it's like, hey, can I have 2 or 3 days to mull it over? No, we need an answer right now. And 9 times out of 10, I'd be like, okay, then no thanks. I've been in that situation before where I interviewed and they're like, no, we need to know right now. And then I'm like, okay, like, I can't do it then. Because I went in knowing, like, God, you're going to be the one to guide me. You're going to be the one to, like, and I want to pray about it. I want to, that kind of thing. Now, that I'm not saying that's the same for everybody, but just any situation in life, it's okay to slow down.
Yeah.
It's okay to take time. You don't have to rush and have to know and know the answer to everything right then. Even situations where, like, especially situations where emotions and are heightened in that situation, frustrations, anger, that kind of stuff. Definitely, it's okay to slow down and not have an answer or not deal with that thing right then and there.
Yeah. Oh, it's my turn again.
Yeah.
I wrote a few of these down because I was like, oh, it's stuff that I could have probably came up with a lot more, but that sex isn't just sex. It's a serious commitment between 2 people in a marriage, and every time you do it, it's a chance that a child can come from it. It's not a joke or something to take lightly. Like, obviously, Braxton was the greatest thing that happened to me, but I didn't, as a teenager, at like 15, like when I started having sex, it literally, at any chance, whether you're protected or not, first of all, it creates a soul tie, which that was in the episode before this, but that creates a soul tie. But it also is literally, even whether you're protected or not, there's always a % of a chance of you always becoming pregnant and having a baby. So for the people that just keep doing what they want to keep doing, like, I'm just gonna have sex, and they're not taking it seriously. Like, I didn't put the 2 and 2 together, so I get it. Like, as a young kid, like, you're like, this is just something you do. You don't even realize, like, this is a serious thing. Like, a child can come of this, and I don't think, like, maybe that's why it's always been like, oh, okay, well then I'll just get an abortion or whatever. Just because it's like that. But it's like, no, that's a life. Like, let's take this seriously. Obviously, other things happen and there's no control of, but you making the choice to constantly have sex, and then you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, dude, you knew what you're doing. Maybe you weren't technically thinking of it, because I wasn't even thinking at 15. Of course I wasn't.
Yeah.
Of course it happened when I was 19, so it caught up to me. And I still wasn't even thinking of that. And, like, I mean, you might have a scare or something, but you're not really thinking, you're like, oh, that'll never happen to me. But then when it does, then you're like, oh, crap, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I really was not thinking of that. Like, it's such a serious thing. Like, I just can't say that enough, especially to teenagers or people, like, having sex, especially, like, why are you having sex with that person when you don't want to marry them or when you don't even like how they are? Like, okay, you want, so how I see it is, like, if you have sex with someone, you see this person, do you want your kid to be like that person? Like, if you do not see yourself wanting your kid to be like that person, then probably don't have sex with them.
Yeah. Are you willing to share DNA with that person?
Yeah.
That's what I always say. Like, are you willing to share DNA with this person?
Are you willing to be strapped to them for basically your whole life? Technically, they always say 18, but I see it, like, grandkids come, you know, like, all of it. But not even...
share stuff.
Yeah, and not even that, just, like... This, it's not a joke. Like, it creates a human life. Like, I even do it. Like, you know how we had this conversation, even though we're married and we have sex, like, I'm just like, what? I'm like, and I already have a kid, and I'm still like, this is just insane. That one, like, small act of sperm meeting an egg is literally, what? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm not looking at you, I'm looking
that's
down.
like that's just like a crazy thing to me. Like, they teach about it, but it's like, you don't really put the two and two together. Like, this act literally, some liquid. I'm gonna make you even more uncomfortable.
Freaking stop, dude. Stop.
Anyways, it creates a child, like a human life. It's not something to be taken lightly in a joke. Like, I highly
It literally
just
creates
encourage
a
you
soul
to not do that.
that can potentially have a relationship with God and go to heaven, or vice versa.
Yeah, that's true.
That's how I think of it too. It's like literally creates life.
Like, you're now responsible
Yeah.
for an entire life, and
Well, to a certain extent, but yes.
well, no, like a human being.
Yeah, you're responsible for that human being up until.
I mean, you could, like, give it away for adoption and stuff like that too, which I know that's hard, but I don't know. Just
Okay.
you can get pregnant and die. Do you know on that Mean Girls movie when he's like, "Don't have sex"?
No.
You can get pregnant and you can die. It was on, like, Sex Ed or something, and it's. I mean, that could happen too, probably. But anyways, moving on. Next one.
Okay. One of the other ones, and this one's been heard a lot, but until you actually have a revelation of it, I feel like this piece of advice just gets overlooked until you understand it to its fullest capabilities, and it's 10% of what happens to you, and 90%
How you react.
how you react. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your attitude.
Yep.
90% attitude. And it's so true. Like, yeah, that 10%, it gets to happen to you. And we'll talk about this. Actually, it's super cool. We'll be able to talk about this in one of the future episodes coming up. But let it happen to you. Like, if it happens to you, it's okay to not be okay.
Okay, I was like, dude, stop making promises. We'll get that in the next one. I'm like, we're almost done.
No, the episode, it's okay to not be okay. Just don't camp there. And that's the same thing with this. That's the premise of this motto is things will happen to you. Life is not fair, but you get to decide how soon you move on and where you go from there, and what kind of attitude you're going to bring to, like, what kind of attitude is going to set the precedence for your future steps.
Yeah.
So I like that one a lot. I try to live by that one a lot, because there's times where instantly, like, I'll be frustrated or upset or whatever, and I'm like, nope, I get to decide how I'm going to react. Like, yeah, does it suck?
You have a choice.
Like, yes, it sucks so bad. There was actually something that's happened this week that I was like, I was throttled, like, really frustrated, and I'm just like, okay, like, I have every right to be frustrated, but am I going to handle the situation? Are we going to go from here? Yeah. Are we going to fix it? You know, so
apparently there's something's in my throat tonight, but don't let fear stop you, and that it's okay to fail, because fear stopped me my whole life until I started getting confident who I was, you know, or being okay to fail. So once I started being okay with failing, then I stopped letting fear stop me from things. Because if you let, like, fear, on the other side of fear is honestly probably something that you should do. Because it's, like, the most, like, freeing feeling when you are, like, even if it's scary and it is fearful, but you're like, no, I'm going to do it anyways. Like, it's getting out of your comfort zone. Like, that's how I feel always. Like, that's just how I am. Like, so I know that I'm like, okay, that scares me. That's bigger than me. I should probably do it because there could be a good like outcome. Well, not saying like relationship wise that scares me. Well, I kind of did actually with us even. Like you scared me a little bit, but that wasn't from you. It was just from like what I was already
Life experiences.
Yeah, life experiences what made me scared. But don't let fear stop you because I guarantee you on the other side of that is the biggest blessings and
so that's one of my favorite sayings is like everything you want is on the other side of fear.
It's so true.
It really is.
Because it stops you right
You want a
there.
relationship with God, but you're afraid to do things or walk that walk. Everything you want is on the other side of that fear. Everything you want this dream job. You want like that stopped me for a while. I wanted a job so bad. I wanted to be a cop, like so bad, and fear so many times. There was a part where it was like God was stopping me. He was like, "Hey, now's not the time," and I was like, "Okay, loud and clear, message received." But a lot of the other times where it was like,
Haven't received.
yeah, a lot of the other times, I was just afraid. I was afraid to step out and do and try. But everything I wanted was on the other side.
And then knowing that it's okay to fail. Like if you fail, it's okay. Like it literally doesn't matter because the next part of my part is saying like it's okay to fail, and on this is saying that whatever people say about you, it literally doesn't matter. It doesn't define you or make you make it a truth or fact. Like it literally doesn't. And I think it stopped me so many times in my life from what people thought about me. Like literally, like from everything, like even my Christian walk with God. It's been parts like, oh, what is that person gonna think? They're gonna, like. Not necessarily. I mean, there could be a good thing. Like if you're gonna try to stop yourself, if there's like accountability and it's gonna like stop yourself from doing something that's gonna lead you to death or into a not a good place, then maybe if that helps you, being like, what would I have to do? If like, what is that person gonna think?
Yeah.
If that's what's gonna help stop you from doing it, then I would say, yeah, do that. But for the most part, getting to be free from, well, it's the same. Fear of what people think of you. Fear of, it's just all of it. Like, it doesn't make it a fact or truth of what people say about you. Because also, most of the time, it's probably a rumor. Or maybe some of it's truth, but it's twisted with a lie. That's not the full story. Like, it doesn't define who you are. I don't know. I could just keep saying the same thing over and over again, but... not caring what people think is great because
one of the best pieces of advice I actually heard a couple weeks ago, and shout out to Josh Pennington. He came down to the old camps that you used to live at and spoke, but it was amazing what he said. And I don't know if he coined the phrase, I don't know if he heard it from someone else, but the way he said it was spot on. It's if you're gonna struggle forward. And I love that now because it's so true. Like if you're gonna struggle with something, you might as well make it worth your while, and you might as well struggle forward.
Yeah.
If you're gonna struggle with something, if you're gonna deal with it, then let's keep it moving forward. Like, yep, I messed up, but today I'm back again, and I'm back again, and I'm back again, and this time I'm not even struggling with this anymore, and I'm back again, and it's gotten easier and easier and easier. Or okay, there was a little setback, but we're still moving forward. So at the end of a year, you get to look back and see, I've still made progress. I've struggled, but I've still made progress. So if you're going to struggle, instead of letting it knock you down and keep you down and go in the opposite direction, struggle forward. And I love that. Because you always think, okay, if you're struggling, that means you're failing. Yeah. No, it doesn't mean that. But mentally, like a lot of people just think instantly, like, okay, if you're struggling, that means I'm failing. That means I'm not doing good. No, that's not it at all. Like, it's if you're moving forward or not. So
yeah. I was thinking I just literally texted like a group of my sisters and saying, hey, what's advice you wish you heard when you were younger? We're on live podcast right now. Tell me a couple of things that they grew up. What's another thing for you? Advice you wish, let me think.
It's okay to not be okay.
I know that's gonna be on.
That's gonna be our next one. It's so true. So I don't want to talk about that one a whole lot because we're gonna talk about that in the next episode. But
Advice you wish you heard when you were younger. Well, for sure, be your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
Like, truly be you. Like, it's okay. Like, don't try to copy others and duplicate, because God made you unique to the specific person that you are for a reason. He's not asking you to be like someone else. He doesn't want you to be like someone else, so he would make you like that. Yeah, you can relate and you can have things, but knowing that you are the way you are for a reason it empowers you, I think. Like, when I started going back to not caring what others think and being who I truly was, I actually liked myself more, and I started being more I felt powerful and like more bold and courageous, like my true authentic self. And that's when I felt like me being more confident with who I was. So then I was okay with it. And then it got me less to caring also more. It's like this whole like cycle, this whole like circle effect of things of like keep going over and over and over. And it just, I don't know, it's like a great feeling to always do that.
One of the ones that I really like, and it's a pretty famous phrase, your whole plan goes out the window when you get punched in the face or in the mouth, once you get punched in the mouth. And so it's like
it's like staying humble, I guess.
No, it's a fighter's reference. So like you have this plan going into a fight.
Well, I hope I never get
You're
punched
like,
in the mouth.
well, just
I'd go.
hold on. It is like
Haywire.
you go into a fight. You got this plan. Like I'm gonna 1-2. I'm gonna uppercut. I'm gonna kick. Whatever. But all of that flies out the window when you get socked in the jaw, and you're shocked. Like that first, like if you've ever been rocked before, yeah. It's like everything that you were thinking of, like you just go blank, and then it's instinct then from there. But I use that in terms of life. Like you have this wonderful plan going into it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then life socks you in the mouth. And your first response is to be like, oh, and you back up for a second. But that's okay. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to have a plan going into it, and life's going to happen, and it's going to screw up your plan. But then you choose where you go from there. You choose if you get back in that fight. Do you give up, or do you get right back in that fight and sock them in the mouth? Mm-hmm. Kind of thing. I'm not condoning violence in the sense of that, but
I mean, so my sister actually just texted back, and I was like, oh man, this is so true. Listen to your parents. Even if you think they're just being mean or trying to tell you what to do, they're actually trying to help you. Not always. I mean, it depends on all parents, yeah. But for the most part, there's like things that they're trying to protect you from, just like what God's trying to do is like we're trying to protect you and keep you safe and stuff. And so I mean, honestly, there's probably things that I could have like legit probably died in my life. When I think about it and I watch like all the crime shows, I'm like, oh shoot, like that could have easily been me. Like I made small dumb mistakes, and it's just like, or you trust so many strangers and do stuff, and like these days you can't say you can't trust no one, but you kind of can't trust no one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. There are people you trust. That's so unhealthy. I was joking, but well, half that story is true, half of it's not. But I don't know. Like,
don't touch that. That's a good piece of advice. Don't touch that.
Why? What does that even mean?
Just in general.
Don't look at that.
Stop. That's hot. Don't touch that.
Spicy.
Yeah.
And
bundle your vehicles when doing insurance. That's a good piece of advice. Multiple vehicle discount.
Yeah. Another sister texted me back and said, "Not every little thing is important. Not every little thing is important.
Which
like every little detail."
Yeah,
don't expose them. Oh, I thought you were gonna say stuff. I mean, it's not bad, but I'm just gonna say.
I had an idea of who it was, and I was right. I just wasn't sure. I did not guess that first one. I did not think that sister would say that first one.
Ooh, this is good too. In parenting, be consistent, be structured, have clear expectations and consequences.
It's a good one.
Oh, I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? Are you acting like I'm not a parent?
No,
I'm
like, just.
I for sure am.
No, I'm saying that's a very good one. And it's
my other sister. Don't get credit cards. That was good. That's good.
Don't get credit cards. Yes, great piece of advice.
At least when you're young is what he says. Well, you kind of want to build your credit, though. They always say, well, you kind of, because it kind of does screw you a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to kind of build your credit, but don't be done with money, I guess.
Okay.
Easier said than done.
Last piece of really good advice. Actual advice.
Hey, these are actual advice.
No, it is. I'm saying, like, in all seriousness of, like, regarding the podcast. Something that helped me is realizing your relationship with God isn't about your works, your acts, how you are, who you are. It's revelation of who God is. It's reading the Word and having a revelation of who God truly is and what He says and feels about you, and going from there, kind of.
Yeah.
Thing, so, pray it out.
What?
I'm gonna pray it out.
Are you?
Yeah.
About what? This wasn't even very informational. I guess it was. Like, maybe if we should have got more in detail with it.
No, I think this is good. I think because there's so
Let me
much.
tell all the advice that you wish you heard when you're younger. Pass this on to your kids,
Yeah.
your moms, your dads.
So we never send homework. We never
to your
send.
teens for sure.
We never send homework home after these podcasts. But today you have homework.
Write every single one of those down.
No, that is to get 2 or 3 pieces of good pieces of advice that you have and share them with someone.
Yeah, let's
in your
let's
life.
do a domino effect.
Yeah,
You
because
write down your favorite 3 and share
that have
one
truly
with each
impacted
person.
your life. If it has to have had impact on your life, write 2 or 3 down. Think of 2 or 3 and share them with someone in your life that you're intimate with or that you want them to know. Because if we have revelation of these words of advice and actually incorporate them into our lives, we would be so much farther ahead than we are right now. And just think the effect that you can have on someone young, especially, how far ahead they would be compared to how we were in our teens and younger days.
I still have a couple more.
What are they?
Always tell the truth, so be honest.
That's a good one.
Which that's true.
Yeah.
If you always tell the truth, I mean, yeah, it might hurt some feelings or whatever,
It's a great habit.
but I feel like it gets you out of less trouble. I mean, not unless you murdered someone. I mean, you can run.
Well, if you tell
Talking
the
about
truth.
crime stories. I mean, you can run for a while, but might as well just tell the truth, get it done with, your life sentence and stuff. To work on yourself and not worry about what others think about you so much. That's what we kind of just talked about a little bit. But to work on yourself.
Yeah.
You good, dude?
Yeah.
That therapy isn't bad or weird. That's true. Like going to counseling. Ooh, I don't even know why I didn't say this. This is probably my number one thing I actually just wish. This is literally something that I have preached to myself growing up because I found out the hard way. You can't change anyone, so don't try.
Facts.
I mean, you can instill things with people. No, you can't for sure. You can plant
But
seeds.
the change has to be in that person.
Yeah, but they have to want it. You literally cannot change someone.
Yeah.
And you trying is
You can
just going to make it.
influence.
Yeah, you can influence.
You can influence, but you
yeah.
cannot change them.
Enjoy right now. Don't have to wait for milestones or achievements. Learn to just trust Jesus with your life. Those were good. Okay. I'll let you pray it out now. I was like, oh, they'll just probably keep
Oh, there's
going.
nothing really
Oh, yeah.
pray out. It's advice.
Yeah. That you hope
Okay, go ahead.
that some of this advice. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I'm good. But you're the master prayer.
No.
I think I tried one time and I never again want to do that because what? Not out loud on a podcast. I can pray out loud when it's by myself. I don't like praying out loud because I feel like I'm too not focused, but distracted. It distracts me when people are around.
Don't be afraid to be who you are.
I am who I am, but I feel like I can't think of it because I'm distracted.
Don't let fear
Oh gosh.
hold you
You're gonna
back.
get in trouble. So you gonna pray it out?
Yeah, sure.
That people
No. If I'm praying it out, I will do it.
No, I'm gonna pray it out.
If you want to, you can say your part, but I'm gonna say my part if I'm the one doing it. Do you want to add to that? You can start if you'd like.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, God knows my heart.
Well, God, we thank you for all those pieces of advice that we've received in our lives, and we just ask that this advice just spreads through other people's lives like wildfire, Lord, especially the young ones. Like, let it penetrate and soak into their hearts, and let them receive those nuggets of wisdom, just like in Proverbs, all those pieces of wisdom that were passed down from generation to generation. We just ask that you pass all of this advice down and help influence the especially the younger ones, and help them to receive it, Lord, and to use it in their daily life as they go forward, and even to the older generations that still are learning it and seeing and growing, and that they are able to have revelation of it as well. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're interested in checking out more of our podcasts as they come available, please download our app in your device's app store, or check us out on your podcast platform at Garden Valley Church. We look forward to seeing you next time.